Good morning, my name is Matthew Hugo from Weather Commerce, and this is this morning's weather brief on Tuesday the 7th of June. Today's weather brief will cover a summary on the West European 5-day average temperatures, the UK, Europe, Scandinavian precipitation, and finally global weather alerts. Firstly, we'll take a summarised look at the mean surface temperatures across Europe. Between days 11 and 15, confidence levels are medium at best, given that there is some model divergence for temperatures to be either near or trending just slightly below climate averages, perhaps by 1 or 2 degrees. Between days 6 and 10, confidence levels are medium or perhaps medium to high to suggest that temperatures are forecast to be very close to climate averages. However, some central and eastern areas of Europe, including Switzerland, Austria, and perhaps even down into Italy, for example, may have temperatures trending slightly below climate averages by perhaps 2 or maybe even 3 degrees. And finally, within the short term, over the next 2 to 5 days, many areas of Europe are forecast to be particularly cold for the time of year. Surface temperatures are forecast to be at least 4 or perhaps 5 degrees below climate averages, as cool west or northwesterly winds dominate across most regions. We will now take a look at the United Kingdom in some closer detail. And within the longer term, as we move beyond the middle part of June, confidence levels are medium at best, given that there is some model divergence with regards to what temperatures are likely to be like. At the present time, temperatures are forecast to be either near or perhaps just trending slightly below climate averages. However, the Metro model, for example, has temperatures near to climate averages, yet some of the recent GFS deterministic runs have temperatures at least 3 or 4 degrees below climate norms. At the present time, I expect a middle ground and temperatures to be either near or perhaps just slightly below climate averages. The 6 to 10 day period, or the middle of the forecast period, is likely to experience a general transitional period from temperatures being at least 2 or 3 degrees below climate averages for temperatures to recover and become very close to climate averages beyond the weekend in the 11th and 12th of June. This rise in temperatures is in association with a change in wind direction, as northwesterly winds are replaced by milder west or southwesterly winds. Finally, within the short term, over the next 2 to 5 or perhaps even 6 days, confidence levels are high, given very good model agreement for temperatures to be at least 3 degrees below climate average of around 14 or 15 degrees, as a particularly cool spell of weather dominates across the majority of the UK. This cool weather is in association with generally north or northwesterly winds. The following weather chart for Friday the 10th of June helps to illustrate why temperatures are forecast to be generally below climate averages, particularly over the next 2 to 5 or 6 days, as low pressure just to the north of the UK produces cool northwesterly winds across many areas of the country. However, by the early part of next week, a complete change in wind direction is expected, as high pressure just to the south of the UK allows for the development of much milder southwesterly winds across the UK, and hence why, particularly between days 6 and 10, temperatures recover from being slightly below climate averages to near climate averages. We're now taking a look at the expected European temperatures in some closer detail. Between days 11 and 15, there continues to be some uncertainty today, given a general lack of model agreement and consistency from previous days. As a result, I have medium confidence at best to suggest that temperatures are likely to be near or perhaps just trending slightly below climate averages. This is in association with relatively cool conditions for the time of year. The latest Benelux model comparison graph helps to illustrate this situation well, and as you can see that despite some model divergence and as a result relatively low confidence levels, the majority of the available forecast models signal temperatures to be generally near to climate averages. And as a result, I expect that temperatures are likely to be near to climate averages, with at the moment little risk of any extremes of temperatures either above or below climate norms. The 6 to 10 day period continues to be quite benign, with the majority of the available forecast models signalling temperatures to be very close to climate averages once again. However, some central and eastern areas of Europe may be the exception to this and have temperatures trending slightly below climate averages by 1 or 2 degrees. The latest Austrian model comparison graph helps to illustrate this situation, and again, as you can see, between days 6 and 10, temperatures are forecast to be generally running below climate averages across eastern areas of Europe, which Austria is generally representative of. However, the majority of Europe, particularly across central and western areas of Europe, are forecast to have temperatures near to climate norms. And finally, between days 2 and 5, confidence levels are high to suggest that the majority of Europe is likely to have temperatures generally running below climate averages by perhaps at least 3 or 4 degrees, as cool conditions dominate across most areas. The majority of the recently discussed model comparison graphs illustrate this situation, and as a result, given good model agreement, I have high confidence to suggest that between days 2 and 5, temperatures are likely to be below climate norms. I'm now taking a look at the expected precipitation totals across Scandinavia, and the trend from yesterday continues today for many central and particularly western areas of Scandinavia, including parts of Sweden and the majority of Norway, to have precipitation totals well above climate averages, with perhaps in excess of 100 and 150 millimetres of rain as unsettled conditions dominate the weather. In contrast, many eastern areas of Scandinavia, and particularly across Finland, is forecast to have precipitation totals below climate averages as relatively dry conditions dominate the weather. We're now taking a look at global weather alerts which highlight significant deviations from normal. And many southern areas of Brazil over the next 7 to 14 days are forecast to have precipitation totals generally trending above climate averages, with perhaps some areas exceeding 100 millimetres, and with particularly across parts of the Rio Grande do Sul, where a particularly wet 7 to 14 days is expected. The signal from yesterday continues today for many central and northern regions of China in particular to have temperatures well above climate averages over the next 7 to 10 days at least. Many areas are likely to experience temperatures at least 6 to 8 degrees above climate averages, with mean temperatures generally ranging between 25 to 30 degrees, but locally up to 35 degrees Celsius, which is particularly hot for the time of year. And finally, well above average precipitation totals are forecast across many southern areas of South Africa over the next 7 to 10 days. Many southeastern areas of the country in particular, and also particularly around Johannesburg, may have precipitation totals in excess of 100 to 150 millimetres, which is comfortably 600% of normal, as some exceptionally wet and unsettled conditions dominate across this region. Thank you for listening to today's weather brief. Goodbye.